Hi guys. So today's video is one that I am so excited about because it is the cover reveal for my book, Peace and Turmoil. Beyond being excited for the cover reveal itself, I'm also very excited about the fact that it's also a cover artist reveal. My cover artist is going to pop in here in just a couple of minutes and he's going to show you his process, kind of introduce himself. He's going to let you know a little bit of the behind the scenes to making the cover. But before he jumps in, I'm going to let you guys see it. I'm going to talk about it a little bit and freak out basically. Alright, so the most obnoxious thing about cover reveals is when people chat for a really long time and you're sitting there like, oh my gosh, let's get to the freaking cover. So I'm going to go ahead and show you the cover first and then I'm going to do the chat. So without further ado, here it is. I want to get into a little bit of the backstory behind the cover and kind of some of the themes that are represented in it. First, I want to talk about the image itself that's on the cover with the dagger and the snake wrapped around it. The image with the snake and the dagger is not just something that I was like, hey, that's like a cool idea, like let's do that. There's definitely reasoning for the way that this image came together. So in the book there is this mystical object known as the Dagger of Eve, and one of our main characters is seeking out this dagger because of its ability to grant immortality. This particular character named Dietrich does not want immortality for himself. He wants it to help protect his family, and currently his mother is sick, so she's sort of on her deathbed and time is a ticking. The kingdom that Dietrich comes from has a particular symbol, a particular seal that represents them, and that would be of a serpent. Because Dietrich's motivations to get this dagger are one of the main things that propel the plot forward and tie all the different point of views together, it seemed very fitting to have the dagger there with him and his motivations and his goals being represented in the snake. The story is a multiple point of view story, so I also think just the idea of the snake wrapping itself around and the way it kind of circles around the dagger is a great representation of the way all the different characters kind of sort of intertwine. I also want to touch on a little bit the color scheme behind the book's cover. If you saw my favorite covers video, you know that I absolutely love black and white covers with pops of color. I just think that they look absolutely amazing. How we went with purple though was actually it just kind of happened. I originally was thinking green and my cover designer made it in green, and then I asked, I was like, can I see it in different colors? And then he went ahead and made different color options and showed me the different ones, and I fell in love with the purple immediately. I never in a million years would have thought that I wanted the cover of my book to be purple, to have so much purple in it, but I saw it and I was like, oh dang. I also just thought that the color of the purple, it kind of captures the fact that purple, I would say most people don't think is like an ominous color, but the shade of purple has a sense of mystery to it, and it still has that fantastical element though. I don't know, I just think that the purple captures the tone of the book really well. That said, I did show both my dad and my husband the different color options because I was like, is it just me? Is it just in my head? Is the purple not cool at all? And my husband and my dad both were like, the purple looks pretty sweet. And they didn't say, my dad certainly didn't say it like that, because if you've seen my dad, my vlogs, he's basically a cowboy, but he was like, I like the purple looks real good. And my husband's like, purple looks pretty sick. There is one interruption to this color scheme that I want to point out because it was done intentionally, and that would be in the jewel of the dagger. You'll notice that there is a shade of blue. The reason for this is that there is a jewel in the dagger in the book, and this particular jewel swirls between different colors, and so I thought it would be really cool to have the jewel look like it was the only part of the book, that the book's cover, that has a different color in it. It's a small detail, but it's those little kinds of details that I feel like make the cover of the book actually feel like it's representing the book that it's on. Now, as for the image's sketched look, I was very intentional with my desire for that. I told him that there's going to be artwork in the book. I have some character art that I've done. I have some monster art that I had commissioned that is phenomenal, by the way. Oh my gosh, I can't wait to show you guys that stuff. But I absolutely adore awesome artwork in books, especially in fantasy books. So I wanted the cover to kind of sort of reflect the artwork that's going to be throughout the book. And because the artwork throughout the book is sketched, I wanted the cover to have a slightly sketched effect also, and that's why I'm going to put up a slide where you can see some character art I've done, some monster art that my artist has done, and then the cover art. I think you can kind of see how it all ties together. It doesn't look like the cover art is so drastically different from the artwork you're going to be seeing in the book. That is enough blabbing out of me though. Now going from the cover reveal to my cover artist reveal, here is my cover designer and his awesome behind the scenes of how he made this cover.
Hey guys, I'm Jay from the channel Captured in Words. I'm a booktuber and a book designer, and I designed the book cover for Peace and Turmoil, and I thought it'd be really fun to give you guys a brief look at the design process of making the cover, kind of like a behind the scenes, if you will. Before I get into it, I just want to say how excited I am for Peace and Turmoil. I cannot wait to read this book, and I am so excited for it to get published. So hopping on over to Adobe InDesign, which is the main program where I link all the Photoshop files and do all the typography. So this is the finished cover. The dagger and snake art I had done by the talented artist Sarah Hodgson, and I think she did a really great job. Now something I like to do in my spare time is to try and replicate or gain inspiration from some of my favorite book covers, and in this case I was really inspired by the UK Mistborn covers. I know those are some of Elliot's favorite book covers as well as my own. There's something about a mist or smoke-like effect which I really love. It adds like an air of mystery and fantasy to a book. So getting the mist effect right is what took most of my time. I tried some different programs and various different brushes. Actually, an earlier prototype of the cover looked much different than it does now. But once I found the right brushes, the majority of it came down to using different adjustment layers in Photoshop to paint the mist so that it wraps around the dagger or goes behind it. I wanted the effect to be like it's clinging on in some areas, much like the snake itself is. I also tried the mist effect in a bunch of different colors, and Elliot ended up choosing the purple, which I think was a really great choice because it adds to that magical, dark, and mysterious feeling. Also, the mist on the back, it's kind of a subtle abstract effect, but I designed it to fork off like this. It almost works subconsciously, but it adds to that snake-like theme, reminiscent to how snakes have forked tongues. But moving on to fonts, Elliot really wanted a font with some swashes in it for the main font, so I used this font which almost has snake-like qualities in the swashes themselves, and I thought that went really well with the snake image. Also, the subtitle and author's name, I added a almost metallic outline to it to sort of go with the idea of the dagger on the book cover. So both the title and the subtitle have elements of the main image. And yeah, on the back, I wanted the highlight quote to stand out quite a bit more from the synopsis, but at the same time, I wanted the final line in the synopsis to mirror the alignment of the highlight quote. Because the highlight quote is questioning the state of the world, while down here it says only one knows the fate of the world. So just a small alignment like this, it kind of ties these two together. And yeah, so then with the spine, it was actually Elliot's idea to have the main image with the mist and everything be on the spine, and I think that's a really great idea because it's definitely really eye-catching from just seeing it on the shelf. Then I added this paint smear with the number of the book, just so that you'll be able to see which number of the book in the series it is just from looking on the shelf. So yeah, that was a brief look at the process of designing a book cover. I hope you enjoyed. There's a lot of small, subtle things you can do that can really add to the overall theme and feel of a book cover. I had so much fun designing the book cover, and I'm sure you guys are just as excited as I am for the release of Peace and Turmoil.
I don't know about you guys, but I just get so enthralled when Jay starts talking about how he goes about making covers. I just think it's absolutely fascinating, and the fact that he was willing to do a little sort of like collaboration and pop-up appearance in this video meant so much to me. I cannot say enough good things about him. He has been absolutely wonderful to work with. He never makes me feel like anything is impossible. I'll tell him like, can we try this? Can we do this? Is it possible to do this? And he takes the ideas that I share with him and he really brings them to life even better than I could imagine. He does have his own channel. If you've never seen it, I'll have it linked down below. But anyway, thank you so much for all of your support. Thank you for allowing me to share this very exciting moment with all of you. And if you want to learn more about the book, or if you want to get sneak peeks before anybody else, I'll have the link to my newsletter down below. Thank you so much for watching. Happy reading to all of you, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.